Alright, I'll just by Kronos could bring a test game here. Now this is, I don't think honestly I can make this work fully for all the decks because there's just not enough pure control aspect in this original format, but I'm trying really hard, as you know, and I did put a deck tech out. So here's the deck in the current version. There's only a few cards difference, but let's just take a peek and see what you guys think so far. So this is against a very good aggro deck. We did have other games. He was testing out a red deck that I thought was awesome. I'm not going to give the details away, but the first game pretty much ended with a mana drain into an amnesia. That's basically like a, mana drain into a time twist, so forcing someone to tap out, taking all their mana, and then wiping their entire hand out. Scoop, game over. The second time, in the other game, he was really having major land issues. So we've been making changes to the deck. This deck is one of his good decks. He is really good with it. So this is Mr. Chadster, a friend of mine. He's a great guy. Absolutely love it. So let's just watch the match and see what happens here. So what you see here is the start game. He's going to start off. With a quick Scavenger Folk, which is awesome. Now the reason I'm posting this because I just want to kind of show different control versions. So again, there are no plows, there are no disenchants, there's a lot of things you do not have. For instance, counterspells, you only have really one true counterspell, and that's Mana Drain. And it's restricted. So I decided I put a Fountain of Youth, sorry. Blacked out there for a second. Fountain of Youth there. And what I'm finding is the Fountain of Youth pretty much shuts down burns. It's very difficult, easy to run over. There's another Scavenger Folk. Okay, so I have double blue up. I know he's going to blow up one of the Scavenger Folks. So now I can see what he's going against already. I can tell this is a burn type deck. He has Hammerheim. I know it's going to have, Urnums and all kinds of crazy stuff going on. So now again, these are heavy test games. All right. So I'm done and I passed here. We had a quick conversation, but there's a quick flash here, and I'll try and pause it here when it comes up. But I'm basically going to flash my hand out real quick. We were talking about sideboard cards and stuff like that. Alright, so I'm going to finish playing here, so I'm going to play a Maze of Ith for my turn. So you can tell I'm kind of missing a land drop here, because I typically would hold on to that until he plays an Urnum or something, and then I would do it. There's a Curd Ape. He did not attack because it's just going to get mazed. But next turn I can start taking a little bit of damage. There's a Singleton Volcanic Island I have in there. So basically what it is, I main decked Fountain of Youth, Maze of Ith, and Greed. I took out the Tabernacle. I don't think it's anywhere near strong enough. It needs either a bunch of copies or a lot of land destruction. So I'm going to play a stone. That still keeps me with double blue. Alright, there's the pass turn. I think he's thinking I had a mana drain or something in my hand, because I was very adamant about waiting until I had a double blue. I don't know why I tapped my... Looks like I got confused there. Alright. He's going to play a Volcanic Island. Alright, there's the pass turn. Now I'm down to taking 2 damage so far. So there's a Tundra. So I'm looking at my mana. I shouldn't be counting like that, but they're just practice games. Typically you don't want to point to anything and count anything that way. You just want to keep a straight face. You don't want to shuffle your cards all around either, because that shows that typically you're not happy with something. If you're shuffling back and forth frantically, that typically shows that your body language is not necessarily happy with what you have and you want better in most cases. So you have to watch your body language, where your eyes go. It's hard to do obviously in these games, but if you're playing a game in person, somebody draws a card and their eyes instantly turn to something you have, you know they draw on some kind of removal for whatever it is. And they can't help it. They give themselves away all the time. Brian's pointed that out in his videos many times. Now Brian just gave me a list of a creature control version for the deck for the original 4 Horsemen format. Unfortunately, I already started with this one, so we'll see how it goes. Alright, so I'm going to play an island out. I'm going to tap 4. I'm going to put out a coffin, leaving double blue and Maze of Ith. He's going to blow up. I'm going to boomerang. Now I already have a whole plan drawn out for this stuff, so I'm thinking he's going to play a card, so he's going to tap himself out. And this is my opportunity to kind of slay him in here. Okay, so there's the coffin. I have mana to use the coffin. I'm going to try and draw as much attention as I can. So he's going to go to his attack phase. So as he goes to change phases, I will coffin the Urnum and untap the monkey. This is not your typical the deck. This is as close as I can so far make it. So if you have suggestions, please let me know. Now I'm going to pass turn. But if you notice, I've been doing a lot with lands. I've been looking at my lands a lot. Maybe I didn't pass turn. Oh, we were talking about the deck. So there's a list. Chad's trying to come up with something new that's creature based. And I have a version of this that, like I said, Brian gave me. I was trying to make a creatured version, but I couldn't get the amount correct. So I decided to spend a little more time on a creature list because I started having more progress there. But I would definitely like to put Brian's deck together and try it out. So Chad and I were actually discussing that, seeing how close we are at understanding how he would play the deck and things like that. There's a neat little trick he taught me. So if you guys have any cool tricks, please let me know. Janky combos, things that aren't typically normal, put them in the comments. Tell me some cool stuff you've done. The craziest janky combination of things. Let me know some sweet things. I'm not talking Mana Drain Mind Twist. I'm talking like, you know, crazy stuff like Time Elemental and Nebuchadnezzar. Returning something to someone's hand in their end step. And then wiping that important card out of their hand because you know what card it is. Stuff like that. So I'm having a hard time deciding what I'm doing here because I wanted to count up the total amount of resources I have, and I did not have enough. I was one short to do what I really wanted to do. So there's a quick pass turn. I pretty much have him locked for the most part up. He can't do anything to me right now. I do have a lot of control in my hand. So I'm not stressing creatures or anything like that. I believe I had some spirit links and all kinds of stuff. There's a quick pass. So I'm going to recall. And I'm going to recall for 2. And I'll show you why I'm doing this in a minute. But there's the life gainer. Now that he blew 2 of his 4 scavenger folks, I want to make sure that chain lightnings and those things will not touch me and will not affect me. My son is excited behind me here. And this is where I'm going to try and go for a kill shot. So I'm going to put a Triskelion out. And there's a counter spell. Now, I was waiting, and I got a little impatient, because like I said, this is a different type of deck. Alright. There's another land. He is definitely fixed out. Let's see if I can get him to tap out for something. And there's a fissure. So he's going to take care of, I think he's targeting the maze, but I'm going to boomerang the maze back to my hand. So he will attack in. I will take the damage. But if you notice, now he's tapped out. So he's tapped out, -2 blue, which tells me he probably has another creature counterspell. Now, what I actually top decked is what I was looking for the whole time. And there's Amnesia. There's his entire hand. So now he's down to 3 lands. I'm going to be gaining life every turn. We're going to see what he can accomplish here. I'm just fixing a graveyard. Now he's down at the spot where he's going to try and put some more pressure on the table. So he's going to hit me, but I'm going to gain life. So technically, I lose the 2, but I gain 1. Now I thought that was his end step, but I didn't really pay full attention here. No worries, there's an Urnum. I'm not sweating it at all. You'll find out why in a minute. There's the maze if you forgot about it. I'm going to Spirit Link the Urnum. And I'm going to pass with 1. So far if we're looking at it, I should have played my trike. That was a play error on my end. I got to treat this like the Angels in the Texas Old School deck. You don't play the creatures out. You just hang on to them. I only have 2 trikes in this deck and 1 factory. Close to an Angel I can possibly get is a trike because they combo really well with Coffin. So there's a simple pass. Now if you think about it, you had 2 Scavenger Folks, 2 Urnums, a Curd Ape, counter spells, and a bunch of other stuff, and I've only taken 4 damage so far, and I'm gaining 1 per turn. So now I'm going to try and get in a little bit, and I'm going to gain some life here. Now remember, he amnesia'd, so he basically does not have a hand, but it gives me time to rebuild. There's greed. So at this point, I have a draw engine. So what's going to happen is I'm going to use greed for 2 life, and I'm going to gain 1. So basically it's 1 life per turn for a card. And Chad is a super intelligent Magic player. And he's going to quickly notice that he's getting very far behind. You'll see him counting all his different sources up here, trying to find solutions to what I have. So he's counting up mana sources, and I'm kind of laughing because I'm nearing a high percentage. I want to say I'm somewhere around 40 to 45% of the land's mana sources kind of tallied for. And he's trying to find solutions. So with 2 Scavenger Folks gone, the Fissure gone, and really none of those cards have been completely removed, because I've got them all back, I'm going to have an endless draw engine. And I'll show you kind of what's going on here in a minute. You'll start noticing what I'm going through. You saw an Abyss. I can wipe out some creatures. I'm just going to basically take over the game, and I have full control. So this is what I'm trying to accomplish. Don't know how it's going to go against some of these other versions, because there's, really no disenchants. But you'll see me kind of panning through here a little bit, but hopefully you enjoyed this little quick video here. Again, this is just test games, but if you have comments or ideas, let me know. Have a wonderful day.